so far when we run the game, it goes straight to the game, which is okay, but it will be really nice if we had some sort of a menu state per se, to where, you know, open the game and there's a little menu and they tap and then they come to the play state here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to create a play state, or rather a menu state. So we're going to go to states here, right click, new Java class, menu state, right? So if it's a state, you can probably guess that it will extend this state class. Okay, we can actually do this. I don't think I've ever shown you this. Superclass is going to be this state here. If we go like this, and there it is, it says extend state. I'm going to implement all the methods, right? Because remember, state is an abstract method, which means if we extend it, we need to implement its methods. That's the contract that we have. New constructor, and look at that, it gives the constructor the game state and everything. Perfect. All right, so now for our menu state, if you go back to our play state, pretty much we're going to do the same, right? We're going to have a texture background. Of course, we're not going to have a bird, but we're going to have a button, okay? So essentially, you can start seeing here that we can create a lot of different states, but each state can have different things attached to them, okay? That's the beauty of organizing your code this way, because now we're more flexible. Okay, so this menu state, we're going to give it background. So we're going to say private. It's going to be a texture. We're going to say BG. And we're going to add a button. So we're going to say private, texture again. We're going to call display button. Like that. Let me go find the background image for our menu state. So this tutorial image here is just this image. It says if you tap, then this is going to take us to the game where we're going to start. All right, so we have back there. In fact, maybe in that case, I won't need the play button. We'll see. Let's go ahead inside of our menu here. We're going to set up our background. So BG is equal to new texture, and we're going to go ahead and pass our tutorial PNG, okay, which is that image that I just showed you. Now, before we even go any further, just to make sure our camera is set correctly, we are going to say camera.set ortho, or to ortho, and we're going to put false for the Y, and we're going to say constants dot width. I'm going to divide by 2, and going to say constants again dot height, and divide that by 2. This is to set everything inside of our projected camera. Okay, and of course we are going to our render here. We're going to render. Before we do that, we can also do the sprite batch that set projection matrix. We're going to say camera dot combined. Okay, again, we're just setting up the same thing we did with our play state, if you remember correctly. Perfect. And once we have that, let's go ahead and open the sprite batch. Okay, that's very important. I'm going to say sprite batch that begin and sprite batch that end. And inside here, that's where we're going to be able to draw. So I'm going to say sprite batch dot draw. In this case, we want to draw our background, our BG, and we're going to put a 0, 0. And we have a dispose here. We're going to say dispose. We're going to say bg.dispose. Okay, and let's go ahead inside of our update here. We're going to say handle input. So inside of our handle input, again, what we want it to happen is at the moment they click the background, we want to then open our play state. Because you see right now, the game goes straight to our play state, and now we have a menu. This will open first, and then when they tap on the screen inside of our menu, they will be taken to our play state. Okay, so now we're going to say gdx.input that just touched. In fact, we're going to say if, right? And then we're going to say game state that set, right? We're going to set a new state here, which is going to be new play state. And what we're going to pass? Game state. just like that. So now we're going to the play state, which is the state where we are playing our game. So now we're gonna make a few changes inside of our game main here, because we went straight to, inside of our create, we went straight to our play state. We want to go to menu state first, just like that. Make sure all is good. We have our handle update, our background, everything is good. Let's go ahead and run, and we should see the first thing to show, not the game, but it will show the, there we go, the get ready. Perfect. Now something is not right here. Why is it dark? So if we tap, it goes back here. Okay, that's good. But let's go ahead and make sure that we did everything right, because I want to make sure that background, right. It's the reason why, because this isn't this we have here a very transparent image. So what we can do, not a big deal, we're going to actually put a background, so this actually is on top of that background, so it doesn't show dark. Okay, so this is a PNG that is transparent, as you can see. All right, so what are we going to do? We are going to create, this will be, let's change this to top BG. Okay, to say that's the top image that is shown, and we need to put a background. So we're gonna do not big deal. Let me change there and there. And what we're gonna do now, instead, let's get rid of play button because we won't need it. Let's just put the background here, BG, the actual background. What we're gonna do, we're gonna say BG is equal to new texture, and let's go and take this background here, which is the one, the same that we have in our game. So bg.png, you know this by heart by now, and we're gonna draw it. Let's draw before, we want to make sure it's drawn before we draw this top BG. Okay, that's very important, because the first thing that we draw is always in the back. Okay, so I'm gonna say sprite batch.draw. I'm gonna say BG, and we're gonna just give 0, 0. And let's dispose that as well. When it's time, dispose. All right, now if we run this, we should have a nice background instead of the black background. There we go. That looks much, much better. Okay, good. Now, what if you wanted to put this actually kind of in the middle of the whole screen? Let's just move this a little bit up here. You can say camera.position.x minus camera.viewport divide by 2. Let's see if that's going to change anything in X direction, at least. Oops, we are changing the background. We want to change this top here. So let's clear all of this and put it here at the bottom. The top background, which is the front image. Let's go and run. So the same here. We're gonna say camera, that position, that Y, let's say plus in this case. Instead of camera, this is why it's not working, we're gonna say top BG dot get width. Okay, my bad. You're gonna say top BG dot get height divided by 2. Maybe I should have said minus. Let's see here. Let's try trial and error here. Okay, so it's way up here, so that means, you know, 0 is right here. So we need to change back. Our calculations are not the best here. Let's put it minus here. That's probably what I was supposed to do. There we go. Look at that. Now it's all in the middle of the screen. Very nicely done. Very, very nicely done here. Tap, and there we go. Okay. So for now, let's do something real quick here. For now, the moment it hits 0 here, let's go back to our main menu. Can you think of a way of doing that? All right, we can say public void hit ground. Okay, we can say if bird dot get position dot y, right, is less than 0, right at the bottom there. We can just say game state manager dot set or push that push new menu state, and we're gonna pass our game state like that. Let's see, and then this will be called inside of our update. So according to our logic here, as soon as y is less than 0, we should go back to our menu here, meaning as soon as we hit the ground, we should be able to bounce back. Let's tap, and you let go, and nothing happens. What's going on? Because we said if it's less than 0, then we should be able to be good. Okay, let's go ahead and do something awesome here. Let's go ahead and do some debugging and logging. I'm going to say gdx.app.log. That's a log class. As you can see, it takes a tag and then a string message. So we're going to say position, and we're going to just pass in our bird dot get position dot y position, and we have to wrap it because we need to make sure it's a string in order for us to be able to see it. Let's run this and see what's really happening. All right, we should go to our main menu, so tap, okay, and let go. It gets to 0, and you can see this keeps going because remember we are inside of our update, and this updates for each frame constantly. Okay, so this tells us something here. It tells us that if we say we want this to happen or want to go to menu state again once the y is less than 0, then this is not correct because y is never less than 0. If we say y is less than 0 equal, then this may work, right? Because now we're including this 0, which is exactly what happens when we hit the ground. And you remember, if we go to bird here, we set here the position. If y is less than 0, we want to stop the y position to 0. That's the reason why we always stop at 0, because the moment it hits less than 0 values, right, it stops at 0. That's the reason why, again, we are at 0. All right, small things that we may forget or small things that we need to pay attention to get the results we want. So now if we either put less or equal or just equal to 0, it should work. So let's run again. Let's play and let go, and look at that. The moment it got 0, it went back to our start menu. Perfect. So I did this on purpose because I wanted to show you different states and different things that are happening as our game is running. And if we want to go back to, and we can use logic here, get the position of the bird, and then do whatever we want. In this case, we just want to take it back to our menu state. Okay? Perfect. So I'll see you in the next video.